to another edition of Spot Training, where we teach you to do more anywhere. My name's Josh. I'm going to be your trainer today for this recovery workout. The recovery workout itself is called low lunge, so called because we're going to be on the floor in a lunge position, very, very low. Simple. This particular motion is going to be really excellent for loosening up your glutes and your hamstrings. I personally just went for a run myself. I love doing this series after a run. But we all use this exact same chain to walk around, to get around, any sort of mobility work, anything like that. So it's going to loosen up this little midsection area right around the glutes and the hips, where we all tend to bear a lot of tension from sitting at our desk or just walking around on flat surfaces and little short ranges of motion. Despite the fact a lot of these motions are considered isometric holds, which means we're going to be staying in one place, I want you to think about activating those muscles that you are using to hold this position. That's going to give you a much more cardiac response, making more oxygen and blood flow go to these areas. So that way, not only are you loosening up portions of your body, you're also circulating blood to it, so that way the recovery process starts happening. And you create that conveyor belt effect where you bring in new nutrients to those muscles to give it release and also ship out old nutrients and stuff that's been used, lactic acid buildup, so that way you can create decompression. And in addition, there's going to be a metabolic effect. A lot of people think stretching is a waste of time because you don't really lose weight during it, but it actually induces a lot of oxidative cardiac response, which just means that you have a nice low heart rate and you focus a lot more on fat burn than anything. So yeah, that's going to be the workout today. I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty well known for my mobility. So let's get started. All right, so we're going to be starting off with a pair of full body stretches, more so focused on the alignment of your spine. Remember, think about your alignment throughout the whole workout. I want you to think about your glutes staying nice and tight so your hips are tucked underneath your abdomen, and also your core staying nice and tight so that way your shoulders and your rib cage is above your abdomen. And yeah, we're going to be starting off with a mountain pose, feet shoulder width. Engage your knees by externally rotating. Keep your glutes tight, your core tight. Reach your arms straight up into the air and lift your shoulder blades up and in. Nice deep breaths. Think of a nice big straight line going from your tailbone to your skull. Like a piece of string is pulling at the back of your neck and just lifting you up. Big deep breaths. Keep that core nice and braced and that glute nice and braced. Keep focusing internally and try to ignore my dog chasing his tail. We're going to be doing a flat back next. I want you to bring those arms back behind you. You're going to push your glutes back behind you, keeping your core nice and tight, and your legs are going to be at a natural straight. Natural meaning that they are going to be slightly bent, but mostly straight. Should feel the stretch going on in your glutes and the back of your hamstrings. Feel free to extend yourself further as you feel the release come in. Nice deep breaths. This isn't about touching your toes. This is about engaging your hamstrings and engaging your glutes. You are doing a muscular induced stretch, which means you should feel a little bit of tension back there. But focus on the range of motion. Focus on the mobility. For you lifters out there, think of a Romanian deadlift. All right, we're going to go into our first low lunge. I want you to take one step back, one step forward, drop that knee straight down. Whichever leg is forward, the opposite arm is going to come down to the floor. Whichever leg is back, the opposite arm is going to come back. And think about that glute. Get it nice and tight. Draw your core in. Give me a nice big twist. Big deep breaths. I tend to have tight feet And I like to turn my toe back, but that's kind of a cheat. I want to stretch my foot out too, so I'm going to turn those toes in and under me, push that heel back. For you advanced users, you're more than welcome to lift up the knee. I'm a bigger guy, so I'm going to drop the knee down. Big deep breaths. All right, we're going to go ahead and bring that hand down. I want you to drop your hips back and get into a 90-degree angle in the knees, 90 degrees at the hips. Clench your glutes, clench your core, and clasp your fingers together. Press them up and over the head. If you're having issues with your mobility in your shoulders, feel free to just turn your palms out. Again, if you're feeling like you need to stretch out that Achilles tendon in the back leg, turn those toes under. I personally tend to have tight feet. Most of us do, especially you ladies in those 8-inch stilettos and drag queens too. Keep those glutes tight, keep that core drawn in, and try to create 90-degree angles everywhere. From here, we're going to transition into a triangle. Want you to, whichever leg is in front, you're going to reach that arm down to the side and reach the other arm overhead. I'm going to give you a front view. Knees and feet, shoulder width apart. Keep that core tight, glute tight. Reach over and across. Big deep breaths. You should feel a nice big release going on inside of your hip, inside of your oblique. Ooh, there's a pop. An uncomfortable one at that. It was really deep inside my hip flexor. Whew. If you want to add a little bit more, again, you can always lift that knee up, or a nice modification is to bring this arm down. Pull that elbow in. That'll add more full body of a stretch. Considering the fasciae covers the entire muscle, it's one unit, not like every other muscle. You're going to end up stretching your fasciae from elbow all the way down to knee on this right side. All right, we're going to be doing a pigeon next. I want you to crawl this lead leg on the inside. Drop that knee out to the side. And this back leg, I want you to focus on bringing it as far back behind you as possible. Let me give you a side view. You're going to reach this leg back. Reach this leg back. And again, think about that alignment. Glutes nice and tight, core tight. Press onto the floor. Keep your core and your glutes engaged at all times. If you're feeling a little bit more advanced, you can bend this back leg and grab it. Ooh, that's nice. All right, we're going to be doing a back bend next. Keep this leg folded out in front of you, but this other leg, I want you to tuck it in right in front of you. Let me give you a front view on that. So rather than reaching it forward, or backwards, you're going to bring it forward. And I want you to tuck this foot right underneath your butt. You're going to do a back bend from here, bringing your arms and crawling them slowly back behind you. And if you're ultra mobile, you can go down to your elbows. But as far as you feel comfortable, I think I'll stop right here. Then you're going to thrust those hips straight up into the air. You should feel a nice big stretch going across the top of your quadricep and your hip flexor. And we'll do all these stretches over again on the other side. All right. We're going to go ahead and swivel that leg in, swivel the other leg back, bring this foot forward. And let's talk a little bit about the knee alignment as well. Wherever your hip bone is, that's how far apart your knee should be. That's where your toes should be pointing. Get your feet planted about that far apart. You're going to bring the opposite hand to the lead leg forward, the opposite hand to the back leg behind you. Nice big deep breaths. Keep your glutes tight. Keep your core drawn in. Think about that alignment. You back up a little bit. That way y'all can get a little bit better view. And this hand, by the way, should be placed about hip distance apart as well. If you're feeling, once again, a little bit more mobile, you can grab that back leg. All right. Come on up. Going into that overhead lunge next. This one's much more about alignment, much like that flat back and that overhead mountain pose. So draw your glutes in, draw your core in, clasp your fingers together or point your palms as far out as you can and reach up and over your head. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and think about them lifting up like this. Let those wings expand. I'm a peacock, Captain. I gotta fly. Something like that. I can't remember what Marky Mark says. Core nice and braced. Feel that stretch in the hip flexor and also on the bottom of your thigh, of your lead leg. Nice deep breaths. We're going to be going into that triangle next. You're going to reach this arm up and over the head. Keep the glutes tight. Keep the core tight. Reach over and across. Feel the stretch in your obliques, down into your hip flexor. And again, if you're feeling frisky, you can bring your arm down to the small of your back. Grab onto that elbow. Crank it on in. Nice deep breaths. Whoa, losing that stability. Feels good though. It's like surfing. Surf that lunge. You might notice that your breathing is going to open up, your chest is going to expand, your lungs going to have a little bit more space in there. That's that cardiac response I'm talking about. Bring that foot across and bring that knee out to the side. Should be about hip distance apart from that back leg into the pigeon stretch. Focus on this back leg, going straight back as far as you can. Head nice and upright. And if you're feeling frisky, you can bend that back leg and grab onto that back foot. And, if you're doing it for the first time, don't pressure yourself to knock out the advanced stretches. But if you're doing it for the third or fourth time and you want to push for those, grab a towel, wrap it around, grab a resistance band loop, wrap it around. That'll help so that way you can advance your stretches. Core tight, glutes tight. Big deep breaths. Ooh, there's a big pop in my back. Feels good. Oh. Ooh, that opened. All right, we're going to be doing that back bend next. You're going to draw this leg back forward in front of you. I want you to crawl your arms back, but make sure that foot is tucked in on the inside. You don't want this leg out here to the side. You want it right underneath that butt. That way you're also stretching the front of your shin, your calf, the anterior tibialis. You're going to crawl these arms back. Thrust your glutes up into the air. I can go further than that. Excuse me, puppy. She's sleepy. We're going to go back to some more full body stretches here in a moment. We'll still be keeping it a little bit unilateral on these stretches, but we're going to be going more towards the groin with butterfly stretch next. So I want you to do for the butterfly, you're just going to swing that leg back in front of you, meet them out in front. I want you to tuck your heels as close to your hips as you can. Keep your chest nice and upright. And press into the floor. And I want you to reach your right arm in front, left arm in back, for a butterfly and twist. Breathe nice and deep. Press these knees down into the floor. kind of thrust your glutes forward, draw your core in, chest nice and upright. You want to keep those muscles engaged. I'm breaking a sweat. I'm not even moving. Standing still. It's surprising, right? A little stretchy. All right. Oh, that feels good. Going to go ahead and transition to the other side. Just swim that arm over and across. Keep that spinal alignment. Glutes nice and tight, core braced, chest upright. Looking out to the right side. We'll be moving on to a side split next. A seated side split, then a standing side split. Keep that core braced. Keep thinking about your alignment. Keep those deep breaths coming in. That way you're creating decompression from the inside as much as you are from the outside of your muscles. All right, we're going to go to a seated side split next. I want you to just kick those legs out to the side. And I want you to think, excuse me, Poppy, I want you to think about those toes. Don't just throw your legs out there and kind of sit on it. Point those toes up and towards you. Point those toes back behind you and keep these knees engaged, not just pressing into the ground, but also nice and extended by flattening out the kneecap. We're going to press behind us. And I want you to reach over and across, like that triangle we were doing earlier. Reach over and across. Open up that oblique. Think about that alignment. Keep your glutes tight. Keep your core tight. You don't want your stretches to be spinally centered. You want it to be full body. You want to feel the stretch in a big, long line going across, in this case, from the bottom of your foot up towards your groin, crossing over into that oblique. I know there's a dog fight somewhere. Did y'all hear that? Poppy's intrigued. You know, reach over and across to the other side. Keep those glutes tight. Keep that core tight. And something I personally like to do, I like to face this palm up. What that's going to do is guarantee that I'm getting more into my lats, into my armpit. If you keep that arm in, then you might not be able to access that little kinetic chain, and instead you're, just kind of limp noodling it. I know a lot of people, I got to keep those toes up, keep thinking about it. A lot of people think yoga is for little bunnies and whatnot, but I'm a big mobility kind of guy. It gives you a lot of power having that extra spring in your step. Okay, so we're going to be doing a side split, a standing split next. I want you to go ahead and bring yourself up to your knees. Then you're going to plant your feet into the floor and bring your hips back, okay? Now, the side split, you can go as far to the side as you feel comfortable, but make sure that your toes are pointed straight in while you're doing it, and your back is nice and flat. Your knees are going to be at a natural straight, not just flattened out. Push those hips back. I'm feeling it a little bit, so I'm going to really go at it. Okay, go ahead and crawl those feet in together to shoulder width. Bring those arms up and overhead. Tuck your glutes in, bring your core in. Think about that mountain pose. I'm going to do a little technical stuff on this here video. Make sure that everything's ideal on here. Timer's going to go away for just a second. Yeah, okay. Everything's looking good on here. I hope everything's feeling good for you. I'm going to go right back into that mountain pose. And again, think of your shoulder blades lifting up And together. Oh, even you can clasp your hands together if you'd like. If not, just turn those palms out as far as you can. Glutes tight, core braced. And we're on to round 2. You guys are on to round 2. Let me see how my alignment looks. Yeah, that's nice. I don't know, do you guys think I look pretty flat? It's not too bad. I definitely have flat feet, so there's some alignment issues for me towards the lower end of my chakras. Nice flat back, hips back, legs at a natural straight for a flat back. Oh, if you want to be a little bit more advanced, you can do this single-legged for an airplane, or you can bring your arms up straight out in front of you. You can even put some weights in there. Check out some of my future stretching routines. Stretching's not just for little people, y'all. Oh, is that right, Poppy? Poppy's little. She doesn't even stretch. She just stares at things. Okay, I'm not focusing on that glute and hamstring release. Here I go. Really going for it this time. Keep that core tight, back flat. All right, and we're going to go to that left leg low lunge. Step that left leg forward, right leg back. Reach the opposite arm forward, the right arm forward, down towards the floor. Left arm back behind you. Glutes tight, core braced. Nice big deep breaths. If you're feeling frisky, bend that back leg and grab on. Oh, that's a gentle cramp. Make sure you're maintaining your alignment. I have a tendency to flare my knee out to the side. It's not ideal. Keep that foot nice and flat. You don't want to stretch all twisted up. You want to stretch in alignment. Core braced. Glutes tight. Big deep breaths. There's a little glitch on my computer. I hope the visuals look good. We'll see in post. Fix it in post. All right. We're going to come up. Get 90-degree angles going on. You want 90 degrees at both knees. Hip distance apart inside of your knees. Hip distance apart. Look at your hip bone. Line your knees with them. Core brace, glutes tight. Clasp your fingers together. Reach up and overhead. Lift your scapulas up, and together. Think about that alignment from the mountain pose. Translate it to your lunge. Glutes nice and tight, core braced. Tuck your hips underneath your abdomen. Tuck your rib cage over. Ears next to the elbows. Extend those arms out. All right, we're going to go to triangle next. I'll get a front view so that way you guys have a better idea of how it should look. Core braced. Feel free to brace on the hip, thigh, calf as you reach over and across your body. And again, I like to kind of keep this palm up. That way I'm guaranteeing that the chain of tension goes up into my lats and into my triceps. Core nice and braced. Big deep breaths. Creating decompression not only externally but internally in your body. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more tension to that stretch by folding this elbow in, tucking it in. Again, adding more tension to my tricep and into my lat, into that chain that's going all the way from my elbow down to my back leg on the outside of my right side. All right, next we got that pigeon stretch. I want you to crawl that leg in. Hey, Poppy, go lift my mat. Hold that knee out to the side. Then you're going to extend this back leg. Think about it going, slide back behind you. Keep it in alignment. You don't want to turn your toe out. Keep it pointing straight down. That way you're aligned with your hip. Core nice and braced, glutes tight. Big deep breaths. If you're feeling frisky, again, hold that back. Oh. Stop digging under there. That's my mat. Want this? Is this what you're looking for? Freaking pedal on my plant. Oh. Okay, we're going to go to that back bend next. Oh. You'll kind of stay in that pigeon, but this time you're going to bring this leg forward. And I want you to make sure that foot is directly underneath your glute. You're going to bring your arms back behind you. Keep your core braced. Thrust your glutes forward. And go further than that. Just... Whoa. Yeah, I can go even further. Let's challenge it. Okay, my glutes aren't quite tight. My knee's not quite to the floor, so I'm going to engage those muscles and pet my dog. Hello, puppy. Yep, you're the queen of the castle. You're the ruler of it all. Breathe nice and deep. Relaxation's important. Don't let any distractions right here get in your way of your focus, your concentration, and also your nice calm response. Okay, let's move on to that other leg. So we're going to bring our right leg forward. Reach our left hand to the floor. Core nice and braced. Thrust your glutes forward. Make sure you're not flaring this knee out. You want to keep it in alignment. Keep it straight in front of those hips. Reach back, and if you're feeling frisky, you can bend that back leg. Grab onto that foot. And again, if you are on day 3, 4, 5 of these stretches, feel free to grab a towel or a loop of some kind and give yourself a little bit of an extra stretch so you can try to move on to these more advanced motions. And range of motion is important. It means spring in your step. It means more bounce. So, when you're running, like I said, I just went for a run. You don't want to be running on strong steel beams. You want to be running on steel springs. Let's go ahead and get those legs in alignment. Knees aligned with the hips, 90-degree angles. Everywhere on the knee, the hip, the core, glutes tight, core braced. Clasp your fingers together or turn your palms out. Reach up and over for an overhead low lunge. You guys hold that stretch. I'm going to adjust my light. It looks like it's moving around a little bit. I want you to see my face. Blinded by the light. Wrapped up like a stretch into the middle of the night. Okay. So, from that overhead low lunge, I want you to reach this left arm up and over your body, keeping your core braced, your glutes forward. Reach over and across. Feel free to brace on your hips, your thigh. And if you want to add a little bit more advancement to it, I didn't introduce this one on the last one, but you can reach that hand on the inside. Just keep that core nice and braced. Make sure you're not limp noodling it. Engage those muscles in the stretch. That way you're not just grinding and impinging on your joints. Instead, you're challenging the range of motion, challenging the capacity of your fasciae, the ability for your muscle to bloom, open up and flush full of blood, circulate, creating that conveyor belt, bringing in the new nutrients and shipping out the old nutrients through your bloodstream. Fold this knee out to the side. Keep this back leg in alignment with your hip and reach that back leg back. I don't think I've done a straightforward shot on this one, so make it this one, why not? Glutes tight, core braced, and if you're feeling frisky, you can bend that back leg and grab hold. Just make sure you don't lose your alignment or create any impingement out of it. Glutes should be tight, core should be braced. My knee wants to turn out on this back leg, on this left leg, because I'm trying to add a little bit more stretch into it. My body wants to work around it and say, oh, this is a smarter way. But that's not my intent, is to reduce calories of output. My intent is to recruit that muscle. Body always wants to do something smarter for caloric support, but we got plenty of calories in our life, don't we? All right. We don't need caloric efficiency. Bring this back leg forward, tuck that heel in underneath your butt. Keep your core braced. Thrust your glutes forward. I got a pretty deep bend on the last one for my other leg, so I got to match. Ooh. And you might notice on this one in particular, I feel a lot inside of my ankle and my Achilles tendon. Still think about that alignment, even all the way down into the ends of your extremities, and engage the muscles in your calves, the muscles in your ankles. That way you're not just impinging on the bone, you're working around the bone, working around the joint, stretching out the muscle tissue. Whoa, all right, that's round 2. Yeah, come on up, feet together, bring the heels in and tuck them into your hips. Press down into the floor, reach that right arm behind you, left arm across. Hello. Neighbors with dogs. Core nice and braced, glutes tight, knees pressing into the floor. Feel that stretch going across your groin. Feel the tension, maintaining your alignment all the way from your hips up to your head. One big straight line. Hips underneath the abdomen, rib cage over. And then twist. Think about that alignment first on every single stretch. Alignment first. All right, we're going to swim on over to the other side. Feels good. Very good. In the words of George Takei, very good, Captain. For those of you who don't know George Takei, Star Trek, Sulu. Core nice and braced. Head nice and upright. Knees nice and wide, pressing and grounding into the floor. Glutes thrusting, tucking the hips underneath the abdomen. Core braced in, tucking the rib cage over the abdomen. Then twist. Find the alignment, then twist. Hey, Poppy. This is what I got to deal with. All right, going into that split, just kick those legs out to the side. Again, think about that alignment. Place your right hand underneath your butt. Reach over and across with the left. And again, I like to turn this palm up. That way I can make sure that I'm unlocking more into my armpit, into my lat. That oblique chain doesn't end at your rib cage. It goes up into your serratus and into your lat, where we use a lot of our pull-up muscles. And for those of us who don't do pull-ups, we have tight lats. So it's imperative that you decompress. And creating alignment isn't just about, oh, that feels nice and my stretch is good. It even makes you look sexier. Why? Well, think about the difference between a spring when it's scrunched down and a spring when it's straightened out. When it's straightened out, it starts to get slimmer. Who doesn't like that? So think about that spine and extend your spring out so that way you're decompressing and your shoulders aren't pressing down and creating a muffin top. Your lower back isn't pressing down and creating that muffin top from the bottom. Back rolls. Yeah, back rolls. Those of you who know, you know. Oh, and I tend to freaking forget this all the time. I have such poor alignment in my feet. Point those toes up and back, keeping that knee at a natural straight. Oh, feel the stretch inside the muscles on the inner thigh, underneath the thigh, going all the way down, and you might feel that tension bearing all the way down into the flat of your foot, to your arch. That's where I feel it because I have such a tight arch. All right, I'm going to bring those legs in. I want you to get your knees underneath you, get them nice and wide. Press those feet into the floor. Press your glutes back. Make sure your toes are pointed straight ahead. We're going to go into a split. I'm going to go for depth this time. This thing's only 6 feet wide, unfortunately. Not keeping my feet straight, so I'm going to bring it in a little bit. Make sure I keep those feet flat. It's a nice big stretch for the ankle too. Keep those muscles engaged. Core braced. Tailbone lifted. Glutes tight. Hips in alignment. Let's bring that in. I'm slipping. I'm not maintaining control, so that's why I'm readjusting. Press those glutes back. Core braced. Tailbone lifted. Flat back. All right, crawl those legs back in. Reach up and over. And we'll start that third series, that mountain pose first. Did my camera fall? My camera's falling, isn't it? This hinge isn't tight enough. You guys keep doing your mountain pose. I'm going to work on this technical stuff. Highly technical adjusting your camera, by the way. Toes straight ahead, shoulder width apart. Glutes braced in, core braced in, aligning your hips, your abdomen, your shoulders. Reach up. Oh, there's a pop. It's amazing what just reaching up will do to decompress you, but something not enough of us do. You know, we are primates. We are made to climb. Unfortunately, or fortunately, we've evolved away from that life. All right. Going to bring those arms down and back behind you. Legs at a natural straight. Push those glutes back. Keep your core braced for a nice flat back. There's a pop. I didn't expect a pop on that one. Stretch the back of that thigh, those glutes, those hamstrings. I'm feeling mobile on this one. If you have a mirror, use it. Me, I've got a camera. But it's a great way to spot yourself. And again, if you do need extra spotting, you need extra support, check out the training page. Definitely does cover a couple of these more advanced motions. And if the training page isn't sufficient, drop me an email, contact me, let me know. I want to spot you. I want to be your trainer. And also, let's drop that leg down. We're going to get that left leg forward, right arm towards the floor. Reach back behind you. Also, drop me a line in the comments section at the bottom of this workout. Tell me about your experience. Tell me how it went for you. I want to know. That way I can give you better advice, not just some advice. Everybody's a little bit different. Flaring out a little bit, losing my alignment. Get realigned. Ooh. Oh, Poppy. She's wrapped up inside of my cable. Oh, Poppy. I know, I'm distressed too, sweetie. All right. We're going to go into that overhead lunge. Knees hip distance apart. 90-degree angles. Inside of your knees, inside of your hips. Brace your glutes. Brace your core. Reach up and over your head. If you're feeling good, clasp your fingers together and press up. Or you can just face those palms out, straight ahead, however you're feeling comfortable. Think of those shoulder blades lifting up and together. Oh. Ooh, I'm still popping. Third set around and I'm still decompressing. Watch your alignment. Nice big deep breaths. You're going to be going into that triangle next. I'm going to go for a big one on this one. I'm going to slide this arm line on the inside. Again, if you're feeling tighter than most, you can go ahead and brace your hand on your thigh or your calf. I should say if you're just feeling tight, because honestly, most of us do have tight lats. Again, it's a muscular chain we've mostly evolved out of, and it's unfortunate because it maintains alignment. You know, a lot of us use our posterior chain every day. We pick things up from the floor, our kids, their toys, all that kind of stuff. But how often do we pick ourselves up? Well, that's what we're here for, right? Spot training is all about showing you how to do more anywhere, showing you how to pick yourself up, figuratively and literally. Oh, pick up your arm. Reach, reach, reach. Think about that tree branch. I'm a primate. I'm going to climb. All right, we're going to go to that pigeon stretch next. I want you to crawl this leg on the inside, fold that knee out, and extend that back leg as far back as you can. Don't flare out. Keep your hips in alignment. Glutes nice and tight, core braced. And if you're feeling frisky, again, you can bend that back leg and grab onto it with the opposite arm. Almost to that halfway point. Oh, this is the halfway point. No. Back bend's halfway. Getting anxious. While you guys are working, I'm at work. So for me, I'm working at work. Double time. Big deep breaths. Decompress. Feels good. Tuck that back leg underneath you. I'll give you a back view of it, right? That's a good idea. And this foot, tuck it right underneath your glute, right there. Crawl those arms back. Give myself a little bit more space. Core braced, glutes tight. Yes! Thrust your glutes, draw your core in. Feel that stretch going across the top of your thigh. And this one's not as tight for me. My right leg, my right foot is a little bit healthier, has a healthier arch. But nonetheless, make sure that you're engaging your ankle, you're engaging your calf. Hello, Poppy. She's great, isn't she? And yeah, you're feeling that stretch all the way from the top of your ribs down to your knee, and even in front of your shin. Come on up. And we'll bring that right leg forward for a nice, slow, twisted lunge. Left arm back, left arm on the floor, right arm back. Reach behind you. Make sure you're keeping alignment. And if you're feeling frisky, bend that back leg. Woo! Almost there. Halfway through our third round, our third cycle, third series. Feelings of accomplishment are surging over me right now. I'm for a run, stretched. Hopefully I'll recover. Well, with this, I'll recover much faster. That's for sure. And that's the whole purpose of recovery workouts, you know? If you want to get to your next workout quicker, well, you better stretch. Quicker you get to your next workout, quicker you'll get the results you're looking for, right? All right, we're going to get into alignment, 90-degree angle at the knees, shoulder distance apart, or about hip distance apart, core brace, glutes tight, clasp your fingers together, reach up and overhead. Let me give you a front view. Why not? Especially since I'm transitioning over to that triangle next. Again, you embrace your hand on the thigh, on your calf, on your hip. If you're feeling frisky, you can reach that arm across your body. I'm feeling frisky. Reach it on the inner thigh, and also point this palm straight up into the air. That way you feel the stretch going all the way from your elbow down to your hip. If you bring it across like this, it's just not going to feel as intense. It's not going to engage as much of your fasciae, that lining of your muscle. Creating that space. So that way that muscle can bloom. Circulation can go in there. Almost done. Got 2 more portions to the low lunge. 4 more portions to full body. No, 5 more portions to full body. And we're done. Crawl this right leg in. Fold that knee out to the side. Reach that left leg back behind you. Bend the back knee. Grab onto the foot. Oh, that feels good. Got a little pop in front of my hip. Nice deep breaths. Keep that glute tight, that core tight. You don't want to create impingement from this stretch or any of these stretches. You want to think about that muscle opening up. And there's quite a few people out there who might have tight glutes. If this stretch is a little bit out there for you, feel free to stop right here. Both hands on the floor, bringing that knee out to the side, even pressing into it just a little bit. Okay, and tuck this left leg forward. Bring that foot in and underneath your butt. Crawl those arms back. I really don't like this one since my left ankle's alignment and compression is pretty not great. That's my positive way to say it. Reach back behind you. I might be getting a little misty-eyed because I did a run. I'm fasted right now. I'm tired, sweaty. I've got sweat all in my eyes, so if I'm closing my eyes, it's because of that. And also, I got this big old light right here you might not see. Oh, let's go big. Oh, that hurts so good. Again, think about engaging those muscles all the way from your ankle to your knee to your hip. That way you're not just impinging your joint together, you're extending it and also stretching their muscle tissue around it, engaging those muscles in the stretch. That way they remember it and they grow on that stretch. Oh, all right. Oh, I'm a little bit behind. Bring those feet together. We got some full body stretches to go. Feet together, heels in. Bring them into your hips. Bring that right hand behind, left hand across. Twist. Core brace, tucking your glutes underneath your abdomen and your ribs over your abdomen. Almost there. You know, I don't live on a mountaintop. Not doing this in a grove. This is my patio of my apartment with plenty of nice plants, which is nice, setting a stage for myself. But it just goes to show, you know, the environment is anywhere that you can thrive. This is mine. Me and my dog. Swap on over to that other side. Clench your glutes, tucking your hips underneath your abdomen. Clench your core, bringing your ribs over your abdomen. Whoa. I just felt a nice few cracks. And yeah, you know, decompression seems like something that's a little strange. You know, I've heard a lot of, you know, different sciences behind it, but the understanding that I have is the majority of those pops are going to be scar tissue, fluid, and air pockets built up inside of your joints that are just basically getting circulated, moving around. If you ever heard of surface tension before, you've got surface tension of those air pockets and surface tension of those fluid pockets. And that popping sound is that surface tension breaking, allowing it to circulate around into your bloodstream and bringing in new nutrients, shipping out old ones. Point those toes up. Bring the hand behind the hip. Reach over and across. If you're feeling frisky like I am right now, I'm going to go ahead and grab this toe and bring it in. And again, you don't have to go for the advanced stretch. You're more than welcome to keep your core braced. Alignment first. Alignment always first. Keeping those glutes tight, keeping that core braced. If grabbing towards that toe causes you to slouch forward or arch your back in, don't do that. No. Point that palm up. Swap on over the other side. Glutes tight, core braced. Almost there. One more full body stretch and we'll be all done. I guess it's two more. No, it's one more. That's one more. All right. Okay. Go ahead and tuck those knees underneath you. I'm going to focus more on my hamstring. My side split's pretty strong, but my hamstring mobility is not as much. Point those toes straight ahead. Keep your knees engaged with a nice natural straight, not just locked out, putting pressure on the joint. Core brace, back flat. I want to see how flat my back is. Lift that tailbone up. Core brace, bring those glutes back. Last stretch of the day. I'm looking over it. It looks like I may have missed a couple stretches, so I'll fix that in post. Movie magic. But for now, I hope you guys enjoyed this workout. I hope you're feeling a little bit more aligned, feeling a little bit more released and a little bit more decompressed. And again, this is a stretch that's good for anybody, no matter if you're a power lifter, you're a runner, or even if you like to go for walks in the park. We all tend to create tension down our glutes and down our hamstring just with everyday activity. So it's definitely a good idea to try and decompress those utilized muscles that tend to get tight due to inactivity and also overactivity without alignment. So if you do have any other questions or concerns, again, check out the training page or comment below on this workout. You can also shoot me an email at joshua.james.costas@gmail.com. And please, even if you don't have any questions, comment below. Let me know about your experiences. Let me know how the workout is. Tell other people how you felt about it, how you regressed it or progressed it for yourself. We want to make sure that you know that you can do more anywhere. We want to make sure that you know that you can challenge yourself. No matter what the workout is, there's something in this that's available for you. Okay? All right, signing off. Thank you guys so much. Take care.